This is the best beginner workout for improving flexibility and mobility. And all you need is a chair. If you are a beginner and you have tightness, especially in your hips, your hamstrings, your shoulders, or your chest that prevents you from having good posture, then the 4 moves I'm going to teach you today are going to help you stretch your hip flexors while strengthening your quads and your glutes, your hamstrings while activating those hamstring muscles at the same time and strengthening your glutes. Also, stretching and opening up the rib cage and the shoulders and strengthening these all too important muscles between the shoulder blades that pull your shoulders back and down and improve your posture. So, follow along to each one of these 4 movements, and then I'll tell you how to put them together into a simple workout you can do from home. Okay, this first move is the standing supported reverse lunge. And I love this movement so much because you're loosening up the hip on the front side, you're loosening up the hip flexor on the back side, and you're strengthening your quad on the back side and strengthening your quad, your hamstring, and your glute on the front side. And then as you switch, you're switching that for both sides. This is such a powerful move because it does so much for you. And this is the beginner way to do it so that you have the support you need to do it properly. So this shouldn't hurt your knees, this shouldn't hurt your hips, and this shouldn't hurt your back if you follow along to the cues I'm about to share with you. So start with your body right behind your chair, and you're gonna use this chair for support both in balance and making sure that you're able to do the move. From there, what you're gonna do is this. You're gonna put your foot flat on the ground, and ideally, you wanna grip the ground with your toes. So the first thing you wanna do is just squeeze the ground with the toes before you even step back. Then we take a step back, put our toes on the ground like this, make sure our hips are facing forward the whole time. Don't let them open up like this, okay? So keep them facing forward. And then from there, you're gonna push your butt back and hinge forward through the hips as you bring your back knee down as far as you feel comfortable, and then come back up, really thinking about almost like you're taking a step forward. So this back leg kind of just drags itself forward back into the start position. So I'll do a little faster this time. I'm gonna slowly shift the weight to my heel. I'm gonna hinge forward, push my butt back, bring the toe backwards, come down as far as I feel comfortable, and then come back up. And for the breathing pattern, we're gonna inhale. As we come down, we're gonna keep our core tight, and then we're gonna exhale as we reach the top position. And one amazing way to keep your core tight when you're doing this is, as you do that inhale, and as you start to stand up, almost imagine like you're trying to blow your air out, but you're not actually letting the air come out. That creates intra-abdominal pressure and abdominal bracing, which strengthens all the muscles of the core and protects your lower back. So it looks like this when you're actually doing this at speed during your workouts. Hands on the chair, you're gonna go. Again, going down as far as you can while still feeling comfortable and not having any aches and pains in your hips and knees. Eventually, the goal is to come all the way down till you tap that back knee to the ground, kiss it very lightly to the ground, going back and forth just like this. Practice this slow and controlled. Make sure you pay attention to those key points of alignment, and your body will feel good, and this will open up your hips in ways that make it feel amazing. Okay, for the second move, we're gonna do the supported frog hip hinge. This is fantastic for strengthening and stretching the inner thighs, stretching and strengthening the hamstrings, and creating more support through the lower back. So again, we're gonna have a chair in front of us for support. That's gonna help keep us safe. And then I want you to really follow along to the key points of alignment I'll be going over. So to start with, you're gonna take your feet into a wider stance, okay? So this should be feet wider than the hips and toes slightly turned outward. Now, something to be mindful of in this movement is it's really easy to let the knees turn in and cave inward like this. If you do this movement and your knees caving in like this and your toes are turning out like that, well, guess what? Our knees and toes are not in the same alignment. And when that happens, that puts pressure on the insides or the outsides of the knees, which can cause the knees to wear down and cause more pain inside the knee joint. So as you do this, we want to make sure if I look down, my knee is pointing the same direction as my toes the entire time. Now, the next thing I want to focus on is that your tailbone to the top of your head stays in one position. So as you do this, we're never going to round or extend the spine. We're going to imagine our pelvis all the way up to the top of our head stays in one position as we go forward and as we go backward. It doesn't change, okay? And another way to help facilitate this is the same breathing pattern that we just went over. Big breath in. As we come forward, hold the breath. As we extend, exhale right as we reach the top position. Okay, so I'll show you that again when we start doing the movement. Now the next piece of this is your feet, all right? So feet flat on the ground, toes turned out, knees tracking toes. We're gonna push the butt back and shift the weight to our heels. And when I say shift the weight to our heels, I'm talking like 70% or more on our heels. That's gonna really focus this on the glutes and the hamstrings rather than putting pressure on your knees or on your lower back. So really imagine pushing that butt back as you come forward. And then the hands are in front of you for support. So it looks like this. Big breath in, weight to the heels, butt back, come forward, Spine is nice and flat. Come as far down as you can until you start to feel like your body wants to round the back. If your body rounds the back, you've gone too far. So come to the point where you feel, oh, I feel tension in my hamstrings and my glutes. Now, press into the heels, squeeze the glute muscles, and stand back up to the top position. When I say press into the heels, what I mean is this. I'm imagining the feeling like this, like I'm doing a hip extension, not doing a knee extension or a back extension to get up. That's really putting the pressure on the glute muscles. And if you're not feeling this quite as much as you think you should, a really cool way to feel this is while you're in this position, imagine taking your foot and turning it outward like this, but it doesn't actually move. So I'm hinging forward through the hips and I'm pushing my feet, I'm twisting them outward as I'm doing this, and you'll notice the glute muscles and the muscles that stabilize the hips, they're firing like crazy as I hinge forward and as I stand back up. So there's a little trick for you to help activate those muscles by twisting the foot outward and using those muscles to support the hips more. So at speed, this looks like this. Inhale down, exhale up, focusing on the glutes and the hamstrings, getting that stretch in the hamstrings, the hips, and then using the glutes and the hamstrings to bring you back to that upright position, just like this. What an amazing stretch to loosen up all those muscles, make your body feel good. Plus it's a functional movement because it's the same thing as picking stuff off the ground. So make sure you practice this frequently because it's really gonna help your body feel good again. Okay, this move is fantastic for opening up the rib cage and the shoulders. And this is a move you can do in the workout that we'll put together at the end, but this is also a move that you can do pretty much anytime you're standing in front of a countertop or a sink or a piece of furniture. You can even do this on the wall as well. So it's fantastic if you do this throughout the day and accumulate more time stretching the rib cage and the shoulders, because this is an area that we don't go into very often. We tend to keep our arms right in front of our bodies, and over time that makes our posture go like this, okay? So for this move, you're gonna come onto a chair. Make sure the chair is nice and sturdy if you lean into it. I don't want the chair to scoot out on you and make you fall down. And you're gonna come into a push-up position, okay? So what you're gonna do is bring your feet back, squeeze your glute muscles and tuck your pelvis, and squeeze your core, okay? So don't let the butt stick out like this, arching the lower back, and don't let the hips come down like this, arching the lower back. Both of those positions put your lower back at risk, so squeeze the glutes here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna push forward with our arms and allow our butt to come back. And the way I like to imagine this is, imagine if I had like a weight tied to my sternum and it was pulling me straight down to the ground. So my butt goes back, I get a hamstring stretch, my head goes through my shoulders, and I just let my chest and my shoulders open up, okay? Now from here, I take a big breath in, come back to the start position, and I repeat just like this, going back and forth between that start position and letting the shoulders fully open up. Now there's one mistake that people make in this position that can really compromise the stretch that we're trying to give you, which is shoulder internal rotation. So let me show you what that means. If I'm here and I'm pushing myself back and I allow my hands to kind of almost turn this way, so my palms are like lifting up or they're pointing down, and you can see my elbow pits right here, those start to turn towards the ground, that is putting my shoulder in this position. So there, I'm stretching the rotators inside my shoulder, inside the capsule, rather than getting the stretch coming through the rib cage, through the lats, and that's where we really want the stretch. So if you're not feeling this stretch coming through the rib cage, through the chest, what you should do instead is turn your thumbs toward the sky like this, which helps promote external rotation. Pay attention to the pits of your elbows. They should be pointing up or diagonally, not even towards each other, all right? And keep them there the whole time. As you come forward, now you're gonna feel that stretch coming through the rib cage, and then come back up, and you can just do this movement this way, with the thumbs toward the sky, just like this. Either way, this is a fantastic move for stretching and strengthening the shoulders that's gonna improve your posture and make your body feel a whole lot better. Let's go to the last move. Okay, this last move is called the seated bent YTW, and this move is great for activating the muscles on the back side of the body that improve your posture. And for anybody out there who has tight shoulders, this is one of the best moves that's gonna help you fix that while gaining that strength to, again, improve your posture. So I'm gonna show you this move, and then we're gonna go over how to put this together into a simple workout that you can do from home to gain flexibility and mobility easily and quickly, okay? So for this move, you're gonna come to the edge of a chair. You're gonna bring your legs out into a wider stance, not quite as wide as the frog hip hinge, but slightly wider than hip width, and toes again turned outward. And again, we always wanna be mindful of how we're moving, so making sure the knees and the toes are pointed the same direction as we do this movement. Now, sit nice and tall and imagine that you're pushing your head up towards the sky the entire time. The more you bend forward from the hips, the harder this will be. The more you're upright, the easier this will be. So we can start in an upright position for you. You're gonna bring your hands in front of you like this and point your thumbs again towards the sky. This is gonna help with that external rotation of the shoulders, which makes the shoulder capsules a lot safer, and it makes all those muscles a lot stronger, creates more flexibility in the right areas rather than promotes flexibility in the wrong areas. So thumbs up the whole time, all right? Thumbs up or backwards, and I'll walk you through it. So it looks like this. First thing we're gonna do is nice tall posture. We're gonna make a Y, as big of a Y as we possibly can. Then we're gonna come back forward like this. Then we're gonna make a T. This time I want palms toward the sky, thumbs backwards. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Then we're gonna come back forward, and then we're gonna make a W. So we're gonna drop the elbows down, and we're gonna try to push the thumbs back as far as we can and hold for a second. So each time we're holding for a second just to contract those muscles in between the shoulder blades, which again, help your body do this, okay? So YTW, Y just like this, T just like this, palms toward the sky, W, thumbs backwards just like this. If you wanna make it more difficult for yourself, then all you have to do is bow forward from the hips. Why I say bow is I don't want you to round your back forward and do YTWs like this, right? Instead, we want you to think of the spine as one long piece, just like we did with the frog hip hinge. Hinge forward, put a little bit more weight in your feet, and then we can do the YTW in this front bend position, which is gonna make those muscles a lot more active and make it harder to achieve that range of motion that you did in an upright position, okay? So these YTWs are fantastic. Again, remember, this is a move that you can do throughout the day. You can do 3, 4, 5 YTWs 2, 3, 4 times a day, and that's just gonna improve your posture and increase the strength of those muscles that help improve your posture, making your body feel so much better. So don't be afraid to practice this move a lot more. But if you wanna learn how to put this into a follow-along workout, here's how to do it. Okay, to put this into a simple follow-along workout that you can do from home, here's what you gotta do. You're gonna do 40 seconds of work, followed by 20 seconds of rest on each of the movements you just learned. So you'll do 40 seconds of supported reverse lunges, then rest for 20 seconds. Then you can do 40 seconds of supported frog hip hinges, and then rest for 20 seconds. 40 seconds of the high chair down dogs, rest for 20 seconds, and then finally 40 seconds of the seated bent YTWs, and then rest for 20 seconds. Then from there, you can loop that around 3 to 5 times. What that means is this workout will take you anywhere between 9 to 15 minutes to complete. And all of these movements, like I said, are gonna help you gain strength and flexibility and mobility throughout your entire body, which is gonna make you feel amazing. And by the way, doing YouTube workouts is good. It will make your body feel a lot better. But the best thing is to have a workout built for you. And that's what we do at WeShape. So if you want us to build you a customized follow-along workout, all you gotta do is click the link below. Otherwise, if you wanna learn more stretches for beginners that will help you gain flexibility, then we got a video for you right here. Go check that out and learn those 4 stretches. Give them a shot and your body will love you for it.